and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean. Happy belated Halloween.
It's no more Halloween.
No, Halloween's over.
Boo!
Who earns?
Boo!
But,
Halloween should be all year.
well, some places it can be. You know.
Give me Halloween! Yeah, I'm very sad.
You can go live in Halloween Town.
I could.
You can live in your dumpster.
I just want to, I should have just worked at Halloween Town when we lived in LA.
I'm surprised. Well, it's in the valley, you know. You kind of got to commit to living in the valley.
Well, when we first moved there, we did live in the valley.
That's true, we did.
It's been a week.
It's been a wild week. Because we went out for Halloween of the weekend.
Uh-huh.
We had a good time.
We did.
I dressed as Gold Dust.
Yes, I put that picture up on our Facebook page, and I painted Sean's face up and did all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and she did an excellent job, as you probably have seen. That was Jen's first time applying face paint to somebody else.
Yes, usually I only, put on a lot of shit on my own face.
Yeah, it was Jen's first time doing it, and she just did it freehand and off of a picture of Gold Dust, and I think she did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And, the rest of the stuff in the costume was stuff that I picked up, and Jen helped me pick out. And it was great. I got a lot of good compliments on it. And Jen, she went as Marlena.
I did.
She went because you have that gold dress.
Yes.
That you've been wanting to wear forever because you bought it like at a thrift store or something. Or was it the Plus Bus?
Yeah, I did. I bought it at the Plus Bus in LA, and it was this like gold sequined wrap dress that's gorgeous, but I haven't had a chance to wear it anywhere because we don't go anywhere fancy. So I went as Marlena. I don't think anybody knew I was Marlena unless I was standing next to you.
That's true.
And then they realized. Because then I just I was wearing a fancy dress.
Yeah, that's true. Wearing a fancy dress to a pro wrestling show.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, but why not? It was Halloween, so yeah. But it was great. It was cool though. We went out to the pro wrestling show and to the Lucha Libre and Laughs, and that's always a good time. The thing that I liked was the wrestling spilled out into the crowd.
Yes,
and we were kind of standing there, or whatever, standing in where they were pointing the flashlight or whatever, the spotlight, and. During this show, the announcers, the comedians that host the show also will live announce the show. So they'll make stupid jokes and stuff like that, and they'll bring on the comedians that do the show in between the matches. And one of the guys, so they came out at the beginning. We were looking for wrestling costumes and stuff like that, and they didn't see me and you. But when the action went into the crowd, they saw us in the crowd, and they're like, "Oh, Gold Dust is here!" It's like he looks like he's got Marlena with him, and it's like the one guy's
still in ring shape.
He's like, "Yeah, he looks like he's in ring shape." Or I think somebody said, "Well, he's shaped like a ring."
Yeah, that's what he goes. He's in ring shape, and the other guy goes, "Yep, shaped like a ring."
Yeah, which is accurate. That's how I look now.
You're not shaped like a ring.
Yeah.
You're not square.
The squared circle, living squared circle, Sean Merrick. But it was cool. And then we went to a 1-Up afterward just to kill some time, and went through a Sonic drive-through, and then I woke up the next morning and I had a rash on my face.
Yep, Sean's face does not like the face paint.
I think it doesn't like the gold face paint. The black face paint didn't have as much of a problem.
Nope. So now you have a lovely rash on your face.
Yeah. So I'm taking some steroids, and I'm just having a weird week.
Having a hard week.
But nonetheless. It was definitely worth it.
Yep.
Dustin Rhodes actually ended up liking my post.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he liked one of my... Because I tagged him and everything. Because I was like, Dustin Rhodes, look at me! At me!
You also met a Stardust.
And I met a Stardust.
Yep.
And he was there. We took a picture together.
You did. And then it just basically snowed for 3 fucking days, so we didn't really do anything.
That's right.
But stayed home because the weather was complete shit for 3 days.
That's right. We got
a good 14 inches of snow.
Yeah, we're just kind of...
Colorado in October.
Kind of digging out of it now, which is great.
All of my Halloween decorations are covered.
Yeah.
Which is... Yeah, I worked really hard to create a very fun I mean, fun. Cemetery in the front yard, and literally you can see like 3 tombstones because they are all covered by fucking snow. So, but that is October in Colorado.
That happens. Yeah,
it sure does.
And as somebody who grew up in Buffalo, and has seen a share of surprise snowstorms.
Oh, it just always does that here.
Yeah, but here I feel like it's more like, yeah.
Oh, I think there's only been about 3 Halloweens that I ever went trick-or-treating when I wasn't wearing like a fucking coat.
Yeah.
Giant coat, hat, mittens, gloves, the whole thing. So usually you spend all this time getting your costume together and then you just put a coat over it.
Yeah, right.
So you really didn't have to wear a costume at all.
Farts.
That's how it works out here.
Yeah, but we had some trick-or-treaters and...
Yep.
I didn't do anything with my mask.
Oh, I know you bought a mask and you didn't wear it. That's okay.
Oh, good. Well, I'll have it handy in case it needs to be worn.
Next time.
It's a cool mask.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a nice little cheap-ass Target mask, but it's a scarecrow, right?
It's like a scarecrow.
It's like a black and orange kind of scarecrow gimmick.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I have it. So, but so Halloween. Hope you guys enjoyed your Halloweens. And I didn't get to watch as many horror movies as I wanted to this month.
I know, me either.
Or last month, technically. Yeah, I wanted to watch a lot of horror movies like every day.
Yeah.
And I just never got around to making that a promise. But I definitely watched. But there's definitely a lot that we watched. I mean,
sure.
We went to a horror festival for crying out loud.
We did. That was fun.
So yeah, that was. We talked about that. I was trying to think. There was some like news, like comic book news.
Well, there's going to be a Green Lantern animated show that they're going to put on HBO Max.
Right.
We got DC Universe finally, and we watched the first...
I think first 3 episodes?
4? 3.
No, I think 3.
The first 3 episodes of Doom Patrol. That was fun.
Yeah.
And actually very... so far, so good. Lots of swearing in that show.
Well, I was surprised because I didn't realize it was going to be... as...
Sweary?
Yeah. Like, I didn't realize that the DC app was, like, so full of, like, adult material.
Yeah, they were going to go for it.
Like, I know they've gone for it in some respects. On some of the things, like, they had that Suicide Squad cartoon. That was a bit more mature, and I know that. And that's right. And I guess I should have known because they had that trailer for that Harley Quinn cartoon.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of swearing in that.
Yes.
But, live action, Doom Patrol... Something else, man. I'm interested.
It is something else. I'm definitely interested. It's a lot weirder than I expected.
Well, it's definitely I feel like they're taking a lot.
Well, they're doing a lot of Grant Morrison stuff.
Well, they're doing a lot of Grant Morrison stuff because Crazy Jane is Grant Morrison stuff. But there's also stuff from like obviously the classic run,
right? That
they're incorporating into it. It's pretty cool.
Alan Tudyk's in it.
Alan Tudyk's in it.
Brendan Fraser's in it.
Brendan Fraser is
Robot Man.
Robot Man.
Yep.
And he does a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's good.
He does a pretty good job of being a guy in a robot like an actual robot, like his brain in a robot, and being like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck? I'm a fucking robot.
The fuck? This sucks."
Yeah.
He does. They do dress him though in kind of the Grant Morrison kind of era where he's got
like a Black Flag T-shirt.
Yeah, he's got like a cool. I always liked his jacket.
Yeah.
The Robot Man jacket.
Yeah.
But Negative Man.
Yep, Negative Man. That's Matt Bomer.
Bomer, who was almost Superman.
Yeah, almost.
How close was he being to Superman?
He was really close, but I guess the rumor is that they didn't cast him because he's actually gay.
Yeah.
Which is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Because he would have been a great Superman. He's got a good look for it.
He actually does really.
He really does. He's got that dark hair and those blue eyes and that
although Henry
pretty
Cavill,
boy.
Although Henry Cavill is more chiseled.
He's definitely more chiseled.
Yeah, he's got more refined features, which.
Yeah, but I almost feel like Matt Bomer would have been better as Clark.
Yeah, no, I could feel that.
Right? Because he has like a more like affable presence.
That's true.
That he would need to.
Well, because there's also a thing too, like when Henry Cavill's walking around as Clark, and it's like, yes, I'm not Superman. I'm like, what, this gorgeous.
Exactly. I'm like, you
chiseled-
still look like Henry Cavill. Fuck you. Oh, no one will notice me with these glasses on. Excuse me, sir. You're literally one of the most handsome men I've ever seen in my entire life. How about you fuck yourself? No one's fooled by your stupid glasses.
So,
sorry, I get so mad.
Welcome to the planet.
Fuck you.
But Matt Bomer's really good.
I don't know what her name is. The one who plays Elastic Girl, Elastic Woman, Elastic Girl,
or Rita Farr.
Yeah. I don't know what the actress's name is.
I forgot what her name is. She's an actress that's in stuff.
But I really appreciate, because she's supposed to be an actress from the 50s, I really appreciate the mid-Atlantic accent that she has. It's very slight. It's kind of great.
It's also, there's a few times where it kind of, because she's not British. The actress is not British.
She's not British, but she's doing that, that mid-Atlantic accent.
Right, but there's times where it kind of feels like it dips into being British.
But
I'm like,
that kind of did back then. It's kind of like if you watch, this is not a spoiler, there's an episode of BoJack Horseman where there's a character, very minor character, who has that mid-Atlantic accent.
Who?
The reporter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She's like, oh, and I feel like she dips in and out of it because all the movie stars back then had that weird-ass
That's
accent.
true, yeah. But yeah, the story of Elastigirl, just in general, is pretty wild because basically, as it is in the show, she ends up by these farting rocks, and I say farting because they're spitting out gas and stuff, and they make her big, they kind of she doesn't, obviously because they just make her grow,
right?
And for some reason, that is really really creeps people out because she's a giant woman.
Yeah.
In the show though, it's more.
She just melts.
She just kind of becomes into a gelatinous thing.
She becomes silly putty.
Pretty much. Because at one point they go into town and she's, her face starts melting, and then she gets
It seems to be an emotional thing too.
Yeah, it's a stress thing.
It's a stress thing, and so I'm interested to see her backstory parts because we haven't seen them all yet. Because it sounds real fucking dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's talking to that woman, and she's like, oh, because she did all this porn. And then she just melts and then rolls out of the bar and destroys a town, and
she literally just turns into a bunch of putty.
She does. Then she rolls. The only problem I have with the show, and I've told you this already, is because her and Matt Bomer's character, Bomer, Negative Man, both of them have had their powers since the 50s. And neither one of them have any control of it. Oh, but don't worry, we're still in 2019. So they've literally just had these powers and not done anything with them for literally the lifespan of a baby boomer.
Yeah, right?
That's my only problem with that. I'm couldn't you nothing for fucking 60 years?
The way that they want you to believe is that
70 years?
For this entire duration.
One Trump. You are one Trump. You have had your powers for the duration of one Trump, and you have not done anything with them. Because that's really what they're asking you to believe.
It is weird, yeah.
It's a little bit ridiculous. That part for me is a little incredulous. I'm really?
The part two where Robot Man, his accident happens in 87, 88 or something?
88, yeah.
And then we go to present day.
Well, it's 7 years before he's even conscious. Because he's putting him, you get little flashes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh my God, I've been.
Like that scene in RoboCop.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've been out of it for 7 years. And he's like, yeah, you're a robot now. And you're just literally a brain, which how the fuck he got this brain?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He becomes conscious and then he just kind of, but then he just kind of.
And then they just sort of fuck around in the mansion for however many years until we get to 2019.
Yeah. It just happens that's when. In the show, Alan Tudyk Crazy Jane. Apparently, though, they never met Crazy Jane up until then,
right. Except that the other two, Robot Man hadn't. The other two know who she is.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the girl, I guess she was in Orange Is the New Black.
Oh yes, yep.
She's really good.
She is good. She's really good, yeah.
Yeah, well, she got to play a whole shit ton of characters.
Yeah, and I told you too, I was like, I don't know about how I feel about this. Crazy Jane has 64 personalities, each with their own power. I'm like, how about you just suck it? How about 5? Because realistically, let's do 5.
Yeah, make her a scroll.
Yeah.
She make her super scroll.
Yeah, I don't need 64, whatever. Give me 5.
The Baskin Robbins of heroes.
Yeah, no, it's way too fucking many. It's like 2 Baskin Robbins shoved together. That's too many.
30? It's 30. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, I thought Baskin Robbins had 64 flavors.
Oh man! Oh shit! If Baskin Robbins had 64 flavors,
it'd be like a double decker Baskin Robbins.
Oh shit!
Kind of like that double decker KFC.
Oh yeah, the one in LA.
The one in LA across from Blipsi's.
That's right. There's also a double decker McDonald's in New York.
I've been to it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because I think it was in Times Square. Yeah, because I used to.
It's 2-story McDonald's.
Right. Well, just turn an old building into a McDonald's.
That's in Chicago. They're building the biggest Starbucks in the world.
I want to go.
I want to go too. If we ever get to Chicago, we'll make a point to stop at the giant Starbucks, just to be like, I went to the big Starbucks.
Can I get a shirt?
This is I went to the big Starbucks. Yeah.
But yeah, so we got the DC universe, whatever, because now I attached the Amazon Fire Stick finally
to the TV.
My input, that my HDMI splitter input, is because I have like my HDMI splitter, and I got like the PlayStation in there, and I got a bunch of game things in there. I have that plugged into the Samsung.
Yeah.
And that seems to work just fine.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I was convinced that it wasn't supposed to work, but it works.
Yeah.
So great. So yeah, so we get to do that. We're gonna have at least have that for a year.
Yeah.
See how
well,
that goes.
if they're gonna roll it all into HBO Max, which is what they're talking about, because season 2 of Doom Patrol is going to premiere on HBO Max, but it's also going to be on the universe. But I don't.
As long as it's the universe, I don't care.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to like.
HBO Max. What's the difference between HBO Max and HBO Go?
Oh, I have no fucking clue. And HBO Now, I don't know what the fucking difference is.
HBO Now and HBO Go are something like, there's a certain distinction between those two somehow.
Oh,
as far as like HBO Now being like available if you have cable, but HBO Go is like the app.
Oh, sure.
Or something.
Sure,
like
why not?
But whatever HBO Max is, I mean, does that also have Cinemax? Because I know that.
I don't know.
Because those were tag teamed.
HBO Max is owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So I think the idea is to roll these services up into one to compete with Disney Plus.
Well, if I get DC Universe, I should also get HBO Max.
Yeah, but right now they're not the same thing. I think the plan is to merge them.
Oh.
But that has not been actually confirmed.
Whatever.
But it would make sense. Because I think, again, that's the only way they're really going to ever compete with Disney Plus.
I guess, yeah.
Is if you roll all this Warner Brothers shit into one.
It's true.
Because, like, DC Universe is kind of too niche, you know?
Well, that's the thing. That is the thing.
That's the problem
that's
with
one thing I will say that I really don't like about DC Universe is that, so you've got all the cards, because there's a lot of content on there. But there still isn't a lot of content, if that makes sense.
I could see how you would go through it pretty quickly.
Well, because you got all the animated movies.
Yeah.
You got all the animated DC animated shows.
Which is great.
Or the
Superman, the animated series.
At least the majority of them, I think. I feel like there's some that are probably
I feel like they're all up there.
Maybe there isn't. I don't know. I feel like there might be something.
I know Batman animated series is up there. Justice League's up there. Superman's up there. So it's, a lot of good stuff, which is great.
Right, but then, like, once you get past all that, or if you don't want to watch any of that at the moment, it's not like you have other options to, dig into something else. But
right, that's the thing.
Who knows? Well, I've talked about, but you'll maybe get to know more about. We'll get to talk more about stuff that's on there.
Yeah, we'll definitely check it out.
On there, Titans is on there.
Right,
so watch those.
Yeah,
there are some DC movies the animated movies that we haven't seen yet.
Some Supergirl on there.
Is the Supergirl show on there?
I think it's on there.
It's also on Netflix and stuff too.
No, I think they moved it to this.
Oh, did they? Okay.
I think so.
I mean, it's on TV still.
Right, but I think it's like maybe the season behind. You know how they would do that on Netflix, where it's like.
Well, can you watch Arrow on this too?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
That's a great question. I have no idea. It would make sense.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
I don't know if I can watch all those Arrows.
I just want to watch the Crisis one when that comes out.
See, I feel like I'd have to go back and just start watching all that stuff.
No, I don't need to watch it. I get it.
No.
I get it. I just want to see the Crisis crossover event.
Do you remember? I think it was in the very first episode of Arrow.
Wigs. I remember the wigs. There
was the wigs, but also there was Arrow shooting an arrow. Oliver shooting an arrow. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. He had one of his gimmick arrows, and it was a USB arrow. It had like a flash drive on it, and he shot it into like a wall or something.
No, I don't remember that at all.
I remember that very
That's
distinctly.
Amazing.
He shot into a wall so he could get intel or whatever he was doing. But yeah, that was the thing.
The USB
I don't think it's ever come up again.
Well, yeah, because it's stupid.
I haven't watched the 500 seasons of Arrow that have been on after that.
Apparently, this is the last one.
Yeah.
You know what I didn't see on DC Universe? Gotham.
Well.
What the fuck?
Well, that might be something. Yeah,
it should be.
Yeah.
What if I want to finish watching it?
Whatever happened to Bruce Wayne and his love for metal? I'm sad that never got followed up.
Oh, that was so good. That was literally one scene, and it just made me so
I think it was on the first episode.
It was like the first or second, yeah.
I think it was like the second time we saw him, because like parents die.
Yeah.
And he's like sad, and then it cuts to,
him like sitting in Wayne Room, as we came to call it, because it was the only set they ever used, which was the study. He's sitting in Wayne Room at a table, listening to metal and just drawing like upside down crosses. Yeah. It was so good.
Remember when him and Alfred blew up the fireplace?
Oh yes, in his own home.
In his own home.
He's like, "Hey Alfred, I'm going to set off a bomb in my own house." And Alfred's like, "Cool, good idea, Bruce."
Because he read a book?
Because he read a book.
He read a book. I learned it in a book, Alfred.
That's right.
Dumb shit.
Oh, that show's so stupid.
God damn it. And that's over too. We lost all the shows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Legends of Tomorrow is still on.
Yeah, but what's his face is out, I guess.
Who?
Brendan Routh.
Well, he was Adam.
Yeah, but he's out now. He's done.
Was he Superman? Is he Superman?
He is also going to be Superman in Crisis, in that crossover thing. Uh-huh. But I don't know if he's coming back for the next season or whatever he's done is out. But he's done, is what I read.
Oh. Fuck you, Brandon Ralph.
Yeah. Maybe he wants to do other things. I don't know.
He's like, I'm going to go back into the DC cinematic universe.
Sure.
I'm going to play Adam there.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he's good.
He gets a bad rap.
No, I thought it was good.
I mean, at least a lot of people that don't follow other thing, like the other stuff he's done on DC, like give him a bad rap. I
never thought he was I didn't think he was terrible in that movie.
Yeah. It's just a bad movie.
It's just a dumb movie. It's a bad story. I didn't think he was bad in it.
No.
He did what he did,
Superman. Okay.
Superman.
Well, I guess we should take a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about our book for this week. It's going to be Halloween themed.
Yeah, a little late.
But
it's all right.
You're going to dig it.
Hey, Paul, what's up?
Not much. What's going on?
I'm just a little confused lately.
Yeah, what else is new?
Well, more than usual. I tried to go to get the shows that we just put up, and I was having problems finding them.
What were you having trouble finding?
Well, I couldn't find Back to the Bins. I couldn't find Adventure Spotlight. Of course, you can only find those when I actually edit them. And
you took the words right out of my mouth. They're on the feed, Bill.
Yeah, I know. That's where I went. I went to the feed, but they weren't there.
You got to go to the feed. You got to go to the Back to the Bins feed.
The Back to the Bins feed? What's that?
The Back to the Bins feed. You got to go to iTunes. You look up Back to the Bins, and you subscribe to the Back to the Bins feed.
But I went to Two True Freaks.
Yeah, we're on that feed too.
What? Where?
On the feed.
Okay, wait a minute. So you're saying that we're on... All right, so if I wanted to go find the shows that we've done, I'm going to go on to iTunes, and I'm going to click on Back to the Bins, and I'll find Back to the Bins and Adventure Spotlight in the feed.
Exactly.
I don't even know what I'm talking about!
Bill, you go to the feed. You subscribe to the show. You subscribe to whichever show you want. And then you get it. It's that simple. You just got to go to the feed.
What show do I want?
Back to the Bins.
Where?
And Avengers Spotlight.
Oh, I'm so confused.
They're on iTunes. They're on twotruefreaks.com. You want them? You get them. They're
you
all
got
there
them?
for you. All the shows are there. They're still all available, Bill.
All right,
on the
so... The feed. If you say feed one more time, I'm going to break your arm.
Scott, could you tell him...
Hey, man, don't drag me into this, because it's no skin off my ass. I'm on all the feeds.
How many Batmen do we need?
How many Batmen do we need? How many Batmen do we need? We already have a lot of Batmen. Okay, sorry. I put it on our Facebook page.
This post, you'll see if you go to our Facebook page, find worst collection ever on Facebook. You will see what that is.
It's a Broadway kid singing about Batman on Twitter. So
but he's just got these montages of all the Batman.
It's really enjoyable.
All the Batman, including Adam West, and
yes.
But there's this part where he gets to like Ben Affleck, and I was like, "Who's that fat guy?" was like,
oh wait, it's Ben Affleck.
I was like, oh, it's Ben Affleck.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a fat guy in that picture.
It's a far cry from when he was slamming tires.
Yeah.
Anyways, our book for this week is Nightstalkers, number 12, from October 1993. How appropriate. This was an October book, even though it probably didn't come out in October.
Probably not.
But it was an October book. Marvel was getting into that Ghost Rider, Midnight Suns groove, supernatural characters. But yeah, the Nightstalkers group consisted of Blade, who most of you already know, also Hannibal King, and Frank Drake, who and I always so two of these guys are vampires. Blade, I definitely know is a vampire. And I think Hannibal's also the vampire. I don't know. Hannibal King and Frank Drake are pretty much the same guy, even though,
Sure.
But they're both like guys with ponytails.
There's a lot of just dudes with ponytails.
But this particular issue, it being issue number 12, technically would be their first anniversary issue, which it says at the top of the book here. Electrifying first anniversary issue, and we have a little like gothic frame of sorts, with the Nightstalkers. You got Blade on one side and Hannibal, Frank, or whatever on the bottom, and the other side. And in the middle, we got the villain of the book, a guy named Short Circuit, who is dressed like an old 1800s oil tycoon, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
like the guy from There Will Be Blood.
Well, not even that. Like he's
that was
like,
an oil tycoon.
Kind of like just like Porter Wagoner, country singer Porter Wagoner,
Mm.
with his bolo tie, and he's got these red cowboy boots, steel tipped, and and he's in an electric chair, and he's getting zapped, but he looks like he's no selling it. So that's our guy.
Mm-hmm.
But his name is Short Circuit, which is a really terrible name.
Which is also a movie.
It's also a movie featuring a robot that also got a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's terrible. It's a terrible name for a villain that's supposed to be like a badass like this.
Right.
I'm not a fan, at least. I mean,
no.
maybe it worked at the time. They probably wanted.
It was the 90s.
They probably wanted to call him Electrocutioner, which I think is a fantastic name.
That would have been way cooler.
But I think DC already had the dibs on that. He was a lame Batman villain.
They couldn't give him like a spin on the name Electrocutioner, like
Electro Murderer.
Yeah. Well, Zappy Kill. That's better.
Well, they can't have Electro.
I'm sure they don't have a Zappy Kill.
No, they don't.
Somebody make that.
Just imagine this cover with a Zappy Kill on the bottom.
Way more fun.
Way more fun. Flying off the shelves. Anyways, so the story itself is also called Short Circuit, and we start off in the Boston Harbor.
Hey, I've been there.
Yeah, we've been there. Where all the legal seafood is coming in. But also, at the same time, the Nightstalkers are there because they're based in Boston.
Mm.
They have their borderline detective agency, basically like supernatural agency that people hire them to go.
Where?
In Boston.
I know, but whereabouts?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to assume that it's probably somewhere in Boston University-ish. Like,
really? I was going to say more like off Commonwealth.
Maybe there, because I feel
Back Bay-ish, heading towards the Common.
Because there's a bunch of Marvel characters, definitely, that find their way into Boston. Like Dr. Druid was based in there for some reason. I feel like he was off the Green Line.
Is it all in Salem?
No, not Salem. That's the thing. Like, they never really in Salem. They were in like the city proper.
Oh.
So like Sox games be getting out, and you can like take the Green Line and stop off and get your spooky investigations and shit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so they're fighting a skin monster because it's literally nothing but skin. I believe it. So I don't know this. I don't. Yeah. I feel like this, okay, real quick. I feel like this isn't continued from the previous issue. I just feel like we're just starting off cold with them fighting a skin monster.
Yes, and if you remember, the last book we read also had a lot to do with skin because there was Husk.
Oh, Generation. Yeah, that's right.
Was in there with skin,
and the character literally named Skin,
and also the character named Skin. So yeah, there's just like they're just fighting kind of like a blobby skin.
Well, they're fighting a skin that has like arms growing out of its head and other parts, and it's got eyes and a weird flesh mouth, and apparently, so they're fighting it, and like
My skin.
well, right, but they're fighting it. You know, what's his face? So Frank. Okay, Frankie's the Frank Drake is the non-vampire.
Okay.
Frank Drake's just a guy that is like a paranormal guy, and he knows how to use guns. He's kind of got like Satan killer guns.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Stuff that not as powerful but similar. Is Preacher on the app? Do you think Preacher would be on the app? We didn't finish Preacher.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't think Preacher's on anymore.
I don't know. It might be on Amazon.
Well, that's where we would watch it because we would watch it. You know, we'd have to buy the season
we
for that
could
fee.
check.
Yeah, I'd like to find out.
Yeah.
Anyways, but then yeah, Frank's the non-vampire, and Hannibal's the vampire, and so he's being throttled by this skin monster. Where Frank Drake's like, "Be careful! Don't you recognize it? It's Stone Cold Skin."
Yeah, I was like, Stone Cold Steve Austin has shed his skin.
Stone Cold? Like that doesn't look like Stone Cold. I don't see a goatee.
Well,
He's just showing up like, "God damn!
was there a time that Steve didn't have a goatee?
God damn! I lost my skin. That's a bad. Stuff your ass."
I was gonna say, are they getting stuttered?
It's just Blade getting stunned.
It's just like skin, just like stunnering this guy.
Watch out! Here he goes.
Yeah, glass breaks. My skin.
Oh hell yeah! It was Stone Cold Skin. I think this character doesn't even. I don't even know where this character even shows up again. It was torn from him when we finished him off. This happened in Nightstalkers 9. So they beat the Stone Cold guy,
ripped his skin off, and then like wandered around for a few issues.
For 3 issues, he just kind of walked around Boston. Like he went over by into Brighton.
Yeah,
Stopped off in Allston, had a few beers.
Yeah, took a little walk, went over to South Fenway. Maybe stopped at Newbury Comics. Dropped into the Trident. Had a sandwich, maybe a salad.
Trident.
I missed the Trident too.
Also stopped by Government Center.
Yeah.
DTC. He had the tour.
Yeah.
He did tour. Just a man.
I mean, Valeen's was probably still there at the time. Maybe he stopped in, saw if he could get some clearance.
It wasn't just a crater.
Yeah, no, it wasn't just a crater back there.
In the middle of the city.
They're like, hey, here's an idea. Let's tear down Valeen's and let's just leave it as a crater.
And let's just go,
And let's go, fuck it, for years.
Can you do something this year?
Nah. You want a crater? Yeah, cool. Good idea. Ooh, crater.
Blade uses his blades and gets punched in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of all this, we just cut to Nebraska.
Sure, why not?
Where there's a murderer, and the murderer is like,
I'm a murderer.
And the priest is like, wait, so is the priest evil?
I don't know. This book confused the fuck out of me, and I was just like, and
the priest does a Don Draper and hits him with the Bible. Did Don get hit with the Bible, or did Don use the Bible? Wasn't there an episode where somebody like got hit with a phone book?
Maybe.
I'm trying to think.
Was it Sally got hit with a phone book? She was horribly neglected and abused.
That's true. You know what? Maybe somebody got hit with a phone book and then they threw their trash on the park.
Yeah, and they were just like, you know what? Fuck it.
They had lunch with Stone Cold. They just threw all the trash there.
Yeah, and then they're like, hey, fuck it. Future generations won't need this planet.
Nope.
R.I.P.D.
Yeah, because I think this guy becomes Short Circuit, or no, he doesn't. I don't know. We'll get to it. I read this, but I can't.
I know, I read it too, and I don't remember any of it.
Anyways, this prisoner sprints at the priest. The priest hits him with the Bible, but like he's also like, yeah, I'm full of like Lilith, who's like,
oh yeah.
No, so
not Lilith from the Bible. This is a Lilith comic book.
Is there a Lilith from the Bible?
Yeah, Lilith. Okay, so Lilith, not really recognized by the Catholic Bible, but Lilith was Adam's first wife, and she was very strong-willed and whatever, and she was like, I want equality, and Adam was like, hey, get this fucking bitch out of here, because I am a man. And so she was banished to become a monster and a witch and try to steal people's children, and that's when Eve came in.
So anyways, yeah, because basically, like, the big connecting thread is with a lot of these Midnight Suns books is that, like, they're all fighting Lilith and her Lilin, her evil children, and that's what this death row inmate is. So anyways, yeah. So the Nightstalkers, run an offensive, and they was it? No, I keep forgetting. Is it? So Frank's got this gun. He calls it Linda's Kiss.
Okay.
And he shoots a bunch of nanotech into this skin monster and then makes it
not skin,
basically dissipate.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to the execution. They go to execute this guy because he 14 boys propped up their bodies in cornfields like scarecrows.
Yeah.
That's what this guy was doing.
He was murdering. He was making bodies into scarecrows.
So they do the execution, and as that happens, Frank feels like this force or something all the way in Boston, and it really freaks him out. But that means basically back in Nebraska, all the light goes out and everything's going to shit because this guy becomes short circuit.
Yeah.
And he's about to wreak havoc on the prison.
Yeah. So then we're
back in Boston.
We're in the detective agency, and these two guys are talking to each other, Frank and yeah, and they're talking, and all of a sudden this woman walks in, and she has like a hyena dog with her.
No, it's not a hyena. It's like a pit bull, I think, or like a.
Oh, it's kind of hard to tell.
It looks like a hyena from here.
It does, yeah, from here. And she is here. She kind of look like, if you are, like Drag Race, she really looks like Miss Fame from Drag Race.
I was about to say Sherilyn Fenn, or from Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah. Yeah, so she's like very like vampy and whatever, and she's got glasses on, and I'm assuming at night.
Yeah.
But kind of everybody's wearing them because one of them's a vampire. I don't know. So she's here and she needs their help.
And so basically she's like, look, my brother was in Nebraska. The authorities won't let me speak with him. And I think something weird, supernatural is going on over there.
Yeah.
So
I need your help.
Thing. We do get this part real quick where Hannibal turns into like his vampire real quick and scares this poor dog.
Yeah, the poor dog. She's not very scared, but the dog.
I don't understand how this looks. She sees the shadow, and then
yeah, the lady's just like not having it, but the poor dog is very scared.
Scared dogs.
Poor dog.
But then Blade shows up. And Blade, for some reason, is wearing, like, metal pajamas.
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing, like, medieval armor. And he's got, like, fucking axe and I think, like, 2 swords. And
he's also jacked as fuck.
Yeah, this dude could not fit through a standard-sized door.
I don't know. Like, compared to the other guys... Like,
he needs French doors.
Yeah.
When he's renting a place, he's like, I'm sorry, I can only see places with French doors.
He's jacked up as fuck. He's got his weapons all on him. And he's like, we're going to go fucking do this. We fight the supernatural. Let's go do this shit. Hannibal start arguing about it. But then Frank's like, yeah, let's go check this out. So they, because she mentions it was Lilith.
Yes.
That there's some name, Lilith, a priest. So they talk about the priest, because the priest got, after he hit the guy with the book, he got scared.
Yeah, he ran away.
Got Lilith. He's like, oh shit, Lilith. So
yeah.
So now they head off to Nebraska. They head into this prison, and there is just piles of bodies.
Oh, so many dead people.
There's a lot of dead bodies in here. Like, looks like a really big room, and there's just the floor. There's no floor, just bodies.
Yeah.
The bodies have hit the floor.
They've absolutely hit the floor. They've become the floor.
The bodies become the floor. The bodies become the floor. The bodies are the floor.
Yeah. And they like walk in, and the body, like the ghosts are moving. It's not the bodies, it's the ghosts, right?
There's some like animated some of these prisoners, like some of them are still alive, but they're like basically possessed
zombies.
It's either kind of like zombies or whatever. And that's what they did. They start trying to fight them.
Yeah.
But they're also like trying to do that thing where it's like, well, they're still human, so we can't really kill them.
They're dead.
But we're just gonna kill them and whatever.
Is this the guy on the staircase yet? That guy's fucked up.
Well, we're getting there.
Okay. Fighting.
Yeah, we're having a big brawl. Frank uses one of his guns. He shoots off his Linda gun. His Linda gun, and it kind of makes them all scatter.
Yeah.
And then we get this aside where this woman, like
was having like a nightmare.
She has a nightmare. She feels like Frank gets zapped, and back in Boston, he gets back in Boston, and Frank gets zapped, and this woman feels it.
Sure.
I don't know who this woman is. Nobody cares to tell us.
Yeah, no, she's just there for 2 panels. We're not going to see her again.
And then, this is where we get to the staircase. I think this is where we get to the staircase.
Yeah, there's like a prisoner on the staircase, and he's like mumbling to himself.
No, I think he's a prison guard or something.
Well, he's somebody, but there's a guy on the staircase, and he's just like wearing a shirt. And he's like mumbling, and they try to talk to him. And what is he saying here?
He's like saying like, "Dead man, the chair, we killed him." Like,
yeah, that's right. They killed somebody in the electric chair.
Yeah.
And then all this shit started going south. And then he looks at Blade, and he's like, "Hey, look, I ripped out my own eyeballs. And they're in my hand.
Look at my eyeballs."
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
So
Also kind of great.
And then that's where what's his face? Short Circuit shows up.
Yeah, because he's.
Well, Short Circuit shows up, and he looks nothing like he does on the cover here.
Right, and the reason that it's because he got fried. No, he got fried, and now he's Short Circuit, and that's why all these people are dead in his prison.
And
I'm assuming this is also her brother.
I don't know if it's her brother. I think she was talking about like her brother was in the prison.
Something happened.
Maybe he was like I don't know if he was a prisoner or if he was one of the guards.
He's the guy who ripped his eyes out. Yeah, it's very Event Horizon where that guy rips his own eyes out.
Yeah, there's
which, by the way, is on Amazon Prime. Just gonna put that out there.
That movie still.
Oh my God, you should see it.
I feel like I should have watched it.
It's so fucked up. You should totally see it. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
And so this is where Frank. No, not Frank.
I don't know, whichever one.
Hannibal turns into who's a vampire, but he's also turns into a werewolf.
Werewolf.
And he attacks Short Circuit and basically...
Whose Short Circuit, by the way, looks like a burning Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he's got like an Indiana Jones hat.
Yeah, and he's wearing like khaki, but he's also on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he basically like dissipates him and disintegrates him for like whatever's happening here. And they start trying to shoot him. And then we go back to this woman. This is where like...
Which woman?
This is the woman in Boston.
Not the dream woman, the one with the dog?
No, the dream woman.
Oh, I thought we only saw her for those 2 panels.
I think so, because she's freaking out about Frank.
Oh, dream woman, okay.
Or maybe, I don't
know.
Yeah, Frank, and then, or Frank Drake. Yeah, because Frank's feeling all that stuff, and she's feeling it too.
Right.
Yeah, and so she's freaking out, but she's also kind of a vampire.
Sure, why not?
But then we're back in Nebraska, and... he's shooting, Frank shoots his Linda gun at him, but he feeds off the electricity and basically just makes him even more superpowered. And that's how we end.
Mm-hmm.
We end, and next issue, it's Frank Drake alone against Short Circuit and Blade and King versus Hannibal King.
Sure.
Would you want to read the next issue of this?
I like this character when it's called Livewire.
That's right.
I prefer that. I mean, maybe. I do appreciate, like I said, that where we had the guard pulling his eyeballs out, that was a really good instance of horror.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. I was impressed by it, actually. So I was like, all right.
Kind of made it past the comics code at the time, because that's pretty, it's pretty extreme.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And that's cool. So if there's more of that, I wouldn't mind reading it.
I wonder if this series, there's not a lot of books in this series.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's worth collecting.
I'm going to probably guess it's not worth collecting. It might be worth checking out the next issue and then deciding if it's worth collecting.
Maybe I'll think about that. 'Cause I don't think there was many issues after this.
Yeah.
I think it did eventually make it to when they changed the thing on the covers on the corner to like the Midnight Sun symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I might want to check that out. That's the thing. That's the thing when we read these books.
Uh-huh.
And I'll read it and be like, oh, maybe this is a good story, But
maybe.
Again, it's,
But maybe not.
It's also it's a big commitment.
Right.
But that's it for the story. I probably might want to check this out. Borderlines, which is the name of their agency, is also the name of the letter page.
All right.
Letters page, so...
Not terrible.
Yeah, could be better.
Yeah, could be worse,
there is
too.
Somebody in here, a guy named Scott Perkins, who's from Akron, New York, that writes a letter.
Oh, okay.
I don't know Scott, but I know Akron, New York. That is north of Cheektowaga and Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Closest to Niagara Falls.
Oh.
And it is a rival... There was, at least when I was there, a rival of JFK High School.
Oh, you guys play basketball and football against him and stuff.
I don't remember so many basketball games as I do
sports.
Well, football games, definitely.
Sports ball.
Sports ball. We never did track against them either.
Sports ball.
But we did have to play football games there. So that's it for this week's episode. Thank you for listening. We will be back next week. Jen, tell us, where can you find us on Twitter and Instagram or wherever it is that we...
I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us on Facebook, Worst Collection Ever. Email the show at worstcollectionever@gmail.com. And you can also read my musings on the X-Files at jenstansfield.wordpress.com.
And please also rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts and anywhere you get the show. Tell your friends. Give us a positive 5-star review if you think we deserve it. So thanks again for listening, folks, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.